Artificial intelligence has come a long way. Artificial images are basically indistinguishable from real ones. How though? How does one create images out of thin air? To explain this, we'll have to talk about variational autoencoders. Most artificial intelligence operates in a different kind of space than ours, namely the latent space. Information within a latent space is a set of numbers which determines its location. By itself, it has no meaning. To do this, we use an autoencoder. As the name suggests, an autoencoder encodes information into a latent space. It is also able to decode that information. Now for the fun part. A variational autoencoder, VAE for short, encodes information into a cloud of points. On one side of the latent space you could have a fat kitty. On the other side you could have a thin kitty. Everything in between is an interpolation of those. Since it's an autoencoder, it can also decode. This cloud, however, contains ideas and not actual data. This technically makes a VAE an image model, but outputs are blurry due to the way it learns to generate images. That's where image models come in. Image models work as a middleman between encoding and decoding, providing the latent data for the VAE to decode. Okay, what do we use then? Bullying, also known as a generative adversarial network. What a mouthful, just say GAN, it's easier. A GAN is actually two AI models working in tandem. One's a painter, the other's a critic. The painter tries his best to create a good image. The critic compares that to a real image and tries to decide which one's fake. This repeats until the painter is good enough to fool the critic every time. This can be unstable though. A GAN can experience something called mode collapse, where the painter finds one specific image that fools the critic and never generates anything else. But, despite its flaws, a GAN is still the fastest image generation method. The way it generates images is interesting. Its older sibling, the denoiser, takes a noisy input and removes the noise, hence the name. An image model does the same, but with pure noise, and whatever it removes the noise from is decided by what it was trained on. The GAN's older, more refined cousin works similarly. A diffusion model starts with pure noise. That noise goes through the entire model as it figures out how to remove that noise. After all that thinking, the diffusion model only removes a bit of noise. A smithereen, a smidgen if you will. That output goes through the model again and again, slowly turning into a recognizable image. Of course, the speed of this process depends on the size of the model and the hardware running it. The diffusion model works alone. It doesn't need friends. They disappoint it. Pretty complicated, right? No, said some computer scientists. Apparently, that wasn't enough. So, autoregressive models, also known as ARMs, work quite differently. An ARM generates images bit by bit, starting from the top left. It generates one pixel, then moves on to the next. After guessing what goes there by looking at the last pixel, it moves on to the next. This is repeated until the entire image is done. Newer methods, however, generate images in blotches, speeding this process up. The last two models can be steered by a human, using the power of words. Contrary to popular belief, we actually don't speak latent. How is the model understanding us though? Just like humans, AI uses a translator to understand foreign languages. That translator is called Contrastive Language Image Pre-training. CLIP for short. CLIP is trained on images with labels and learns the relations between them. CLIP then shares that knowledge with an image model using a shared latent space. Let's use diffusion models as an example. The model takes a step, denoising the image a little. CLIP then looks at the output and compares it with the prompt. If it doesn't fit, CLIP gives the model a little nudge in the right direction, causing it to generate something that fits the prompt better. This is repeated every step and results in a fitting output. Without CLIP, a model outputs what it knows the best, also known as its default generation. Despite all this, image models will never be superior to human creativity. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.